Look, Tinkerbelle gets an equipment belt. Hi, I'm Mark, and this is Subliteral Network. I'm in art and comics, and thanks for watching. Remember to hit like and subscribe and to leave your feedback in the comments. I post art daily, 5 days a week on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, and this is a roundup of some of that work, in case you missed it, with a little more detailed description added. You can read my Una the Cave Bunny comics free at radiocomics.com, and my one-shot comic called Searchers is now available at burningstarcomics.net. Please visit my Patreon page if you'd like to support my work. All these links are in my description and bio, and please watch till the end so you don't miss anything. This is kind of a thief character that I made for some mini comics that I drew. When I originally drew her, she just had like this thong and boots on. But it occurred to me later on that I really wanted to put these dark tights on her, like black shiny spandex tights. And I thought, well, yeah, it's going to look pretty good. And I thought about it for months. So I just took the drawing out and just decided I'm going to add some hatching to indicate the fact that, you know, she's got tights attached to this thong that she's wearing. I thought it was going to look kind of cool, and I was right, man. I love the way it came out. And the only thing I did that I didn't like was I kept adding texture and hatching to the boob cups that she has on, the metal boob cups. It just looked like there's too much on there. And that's the problem with hatching. When you start adding lines to a drawing and just adding texture everywhere, it's easy to go overboard because, I don't know, it seems like a lot of us, and I'm included, have this idea that more lines means it's a better drawing. And that is almost never the case. I think that the issue always is control. You have to control where you're putting it and for what purpose, and have a pattern, kind of a tonal pattern in mind. Otherwise you're just drawing lines because maybe you're nervous, or you think it's not going to look good enough, or it's not detailed enough, and you're overthinking it. And I shouldn't say you, I mean I'm overthinking it, and a lot of artists kind of do the same thing. I mean, if you've never done it, you'd be surprised as how difficult it really is to stop putting in lines. But anyway, I think I'm going to go in, I'm going to white out some of the stuff, extra lines on our boob cups, and hope that I don't overdo that. But anyway, the black tights are staying. This is a piece of art, unused art, done for what I believe was my first story, published in the comics anthology Furlough. At the time, Furlough was published by Antarctic Press, but later on the magazine was published by Radio Comics, and that's where I did the bulk of my comics work for, when they were owned by Radio Comics. I'm also pretty sure back then I was still drawing with pens dipped in ink and brushes, although I think this one used only pens. I gotta dig out the original somewhere and make sure of that. So I did have the original sitting around just as line work for a long time, until I started submitting work to the fanzine Rauerbrazel. So I kind of dug it out of the files and toned it up in gray tones in Sketchbook Pro. At the time, I would spend my time writing trains in Manhattan with my little tiny tablet, working in Sketchbook Pro, and just doing all kinds of work, taking work out of my old files and coloring or toning it up. But on that little tablet, I learned to really enjoy working in black, white, and gray tones. I always did enjoy it. I like the look of it, and I kind of wish more people appreciated it. You know, people have a color work is so easily available, and people just jump to it now because it's a lot easier to produce work in color these days. Plus, one great thing is when I apply the tones, it really sort of jumped to a new kind of life. And I really enjoyed that. You know, the textures, the different brushes let me kind of fool around with the water and light in the background. And I got kind of a 1, 2, 3 stage thing going on. Like a middle gray in the back, a darker gray on the shark, and then the darkest contrast, or the most contrasty work done on the figure in the front. In fact, looking at it now, I should probably do a new version, just draw up a whole new thing. I'm going through my sketches, and somehow it dawned on me that I've got I may have hundreds of these little Tinkerbelle sketches drawn on paper bags like this. So again, these are drawn in ballpoint and colored with a little markers, and the white parts that you see are a white china crayon. But what happened was, for Christmas I had gotten my daughters some of those new Tinkerbelle stories in books with the nice watercolor paintings. I'd gotten them a bunch of those, and then the illustrations were just gorgeous. And the one thing that stuck out for me, from those books, was that they had given Tinkerbelle this little equipment belt. Now I gotta point out, they did not draw Tinkerbelle thick and curvy like this. You know, that was that was kind of my idea, but that belt really stuck with me somehow. Just it cinched her waist and graphically kind of divided her and made her kind of just look a little more solid and less ethereal to me or something. I don't know. But if she carries fairy dust in some of those packets, you wonder what she carries in the other ones. And you don't really know. Little poison darts, you know, kind of stuff that fairies use. But the point is, from now on, I'm always going to draw Tinkerbelle with that little belt on. I don't know, for some reason that really adds to her character. It makes her look just sort of more purposeful. I'd like to thank you, my subscribers, and especially my new subscribers. I'm very happy you enjoy hearing something more about the work that I'm doing, and I hope the videos are entertaining, and I really hope you can come back for more.